Disappointed there's no cereal. Yeah, I'm gonna just make sure. That was a weird one. I think it's just because I connected to Twitch there. Victorious Gaming A semis finals, and it is the 27th of 2014, and I can't spell 2014, but that's cool.
So are you normally eating cereal on the stream?
I am not normally eating cereal on the stream. I feel like that would be an interesting gimmick to have. I have not.
Yeah, you gotta go all the way with your name, man.
Yeah, I probably should. Probably should. All right. So we're gonna have cereal on your overlay. I love I'm getting all the questions from the people who are actually about to play as opposed to like people in Twitch chat. But I guess you could. They have priority since it's right here. So are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
We ready. All right. So let's see how this is looking. Trying to pull up viewer list to see what we got going on. But yeah, it'll skyrocket a little bit. I'm gonna post on Twitter as well as the Victorious Gaming Facebook just so they know that it's going live.
Go for it.
Big surprise. He's peeping. Can you start? I don't know. Ask the other team. I have no idea. We're ready to go whenever.
Oh, someone left.
Yeah. Victorious.
Alrighty, so have any of you guys in the chat been following the games tonight? If so, let us know.
Here I am.
Have a favorite team so far? Go ahead and let us know as well.
Can you drop out for a sec?
Yeah, no problem.
They need to reorder again.
Let me know when they're done.
Yeah, they won't take long, I don't think. They actually just had. Oh, they have to do it one by one though. My friend's asking me if I can play an ARAM. I said I'm casting. He says you can multitask. Like, no, that's not quite how that works.
We were talking about that earlier. If
It'd be
you
a bit difficult.
play and cast at the same time. Then someone asked if they could stream and play. And that's quite a little bit of multitasking right there. Talking about the game and playing one at the same time.
Yeah. Gaming Twitch. Awesome. So that's up. Everything's up. We got anything on chat? Yes. Team 1 pulls. Let's hope so. Where's the other sprinter? You can jump back in.
There I am.
We ready. Yeah. Oh, I got a new friend now.
Yes, you do.
I'm so popular. Okay.
Welcome to the clique.
of your friends list?
Yeah. Made it to that VG section.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Oh, okay, so there. Okay, I didn't realize purple's not gone. So we're in, and I need to go to the overlay because I almost always forget that. Nope, wrong one. There it is. VG champ select. Perfect. So say bye to my face, guys, because it's gone till the end of the game. Instead, we're in picks and bans. And looks like a few target ones coming out, a few popular picks, or popular bans with Thresh and LeBlanc from purple side, but Pantheon Jinx probably a bit more targeted towards somebody on purple team. Speaking of Fireboy, pretty well-known jungler, at least in the Victorious Gaming circles, so if they're trying to ban him out, that would not surprise me too much.
They did pick up a Jinx ban though, so that's a little bit interesting. She's not really that big of a played AD carry recently. Maybe it's just a specific ban out then.
It's got to be a target ban because they pretty much what most people do, and I did the last week when I played, is that you will LoL King or just look through people's leagues, like look at their highest rated people and see what do we really want to ban out from their strongest players. And so that was, I think that's probably what they're trying to do as well. And Eve's just a pain to deal with, so that's the not surprising. But with Caitlyn and Jinx coming being banned out, it's probably gonna mean Lucian's definitely going to one team. I'd be really surprised if he wasn't picked up. But then I'd think that probably the next fallback for most popular ones would be Graves. Maybe
Definitely.
somebody else. We'll have to see. With a Morgana, you can really play anybody. Morgana's just such... she's the best support by, I think, a considerable margin. But
In this meta, that is.
I think so. she just does everything. I know that there are some good. She's not like invincible, like not like top tier by a mile. I think Thresh is still just pretty close. But seeing Thresh banned out and getting the other, I think, top tier support, it's a good pickup. I wonder where Kale's gonna be going to. No, Greg is not shoutcasting. This is myself, Serial, and Ain.
Hey guys.
A-N. So, bringing it back. Where were you for a while? I know that you were.
I had classes for an entire year, and I was trying to manage things with my life, and I went ahead and get those taken care of. So, I was around if I was needed, and I was not needed. So, here I am again.
Fair enough. Well, glad to have you back. We've been needing some more shoutcasters and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Oh, please be a Teemo pick.
Teemo, the Lord of Troll. Oh no, there's the Draven.
Draven's not surprising. I'd say he's probably that third one in that trifecta after the Lucian. Lucian, Caitlyn, Jinx, I think are real. I'd say Lucian's still maybe the best one overall. Kind of consensus, at least from the pro side of things. But you're seeing Draven come out a bit more. Jinx, Caitlyn have always been popular anyways. So Draven, not surprising. They're going to be looking for kills come around like level 5 or 6 when Draven's already built up a lot of that adoration stacks. He wants kills early, but it doesn't do as much as if he waits for it, gets those adoration stacked up, and then gets those kills, and then he just snowballs out of control.
Well, looking at Purple Team here, they've got a huge front line to protect that Draven. They're going to have that Kayle ult. They're going to be able to keep that Draven alive no matter who dives what. As long as they can actually keep Draven alive, they've got that team fight. They've got the Morg. They're going to be able to get the hard CCF with the Jackson, the Morg, and the Kayle for the front line. All of that really going to be able to keep Draven alive throughout the team fights.
Yeah, he'll definitely be somebody. And also Jax could be kept alive too, depending on who they want to focus on. If, say, Jax gets a lot more fed, he can snowball a game really, really hard. And he's going to be against, I assume, a Riven, just because Jarvan's more popular jungle. Riven's not as popular of a jungle right now. That said, it could completely change up. Oh, I'd like to see a Vel'Koz, though. Not one I've seen in quite a while. I don't know if I've actually been able to shoutcast a Vel'Koz. I should probably actually look at what his abilities are named, because I don't know. I've never had to figure that out.
Swapped back around again. So Vel'Koz is a little bit of an interesting one. He's got hard CC and he has amazing team fight, but he can be locked down with escape. So has a slow that can be split. He's got a knock up. He's got more dot, and he's got his ult, which is just incredible in team fights. The mana cost not going up, so he can pretty much use it whenever he wants to. I don't know. What?
I think that one thing that's always been talked about with Vel'Koz, his main weakness, which I guess this is probably a Kayle jungle then, but one thing you see from Vel'Koz is his lack of escape, his just ability to get dived on. And you do have a Jarvan and Riven who are going to try to get into that back line with maybe a ball delivery plus wild growth kind of plan, as well as Twitch being able to shoot to the back line. But Vel'Koz is that one weakness of him just being able to get blown up. You have Kayle who can ult him. You have the Black Shield to help him out too. So the only problem I see with Purple's comp is that they have a few people who might get jumped on and they might not be able to protect everybody. That's
very true.
That's
so depending on
good.
So depending on how Purple Team works this, do they go for the almighty Jax to get him as fed as possible and protect the Jax at all costs? Or do they go for the standard protect the AD carry comp? Or do they go for protect the backline comp with the Vel'Koz just shooting out his Q every 5 seconds? It's going to be difficult because looking over at Blue Team, they have the Lulu, so she's going to be able to polymorph the high priority targets, and even if that Kayle shield comes down, unless Morg is standing right next to her to prevent it, it's not going to do as much. So they've got hard CC, and like we were talking about, that ball delivery system with Orianna and Jarvan is going to be pretty strong, especially with the Twitch just being able to come visible anywhere he wants to.
He can flank if he wants to. And I will say, I don't usually see Lulu go ahead and polymorph a carry, because if she's far enough into that fight to polymorph a carry, they've already done something way too well. Like, they should already have won that fight. But I usually see it more for the Jax who jumps on top of somebody, because when I play Lulu support, I want to make sure I'm near my AD carry and keeping him alive and kind of peeling. And for a Twitch who's I I want to think he's a better late game carry than Draven. I think that's what he'll probably be trying to do. But yeah, like we're saying, I think Purple might have to figure out what is their highest priority person to keep alive. Both teams have a lot of shields, a lot of help for somebody if they want to keep somebody alive. They're like surprising amount of shields. They've got 2 on each side if you want to count intervention as a shield, even though it's technically invincibility. But I think Purple will feel out who's going to be the person we need to carry us the most, because it could be a number. I haven't seen Vel'Koz in a while, so I don't know how hard he carries, because I know he can throw out a ton of bursts, but I feel like I feel like he's not going to be the one they want to protect. I think it's going to be Jax or Draven.
So speaking of personal experience, I just finished a game up as Vel'Koz, and he can do incredible things if he's not focused down. If they don't pick him out as a high priority target because they counter him in lane or anything of that sort, all he has to do is pick up not damage, but go for the utility build. That Liandry's into the Zhonya's, and he'll be good. He'll be able to fire it off from the back line because most of his abilities has CC slow. His ult comes with a passive slow, his Q comes with a slow, and they all get comboed together, so that passive is just going to keep ticking and ticking away if he picks up a Liandry's, which is a very common item to be picked up if he doesn't just go straight for the damage build. Vel'Koz, I find, is a very strong champion and can actually outscale an Orianna because he has so much more spam. He's going to be able to Q, W, E, W, R, or Q again, and he's going to be able to keep going. His ability ratios are really strong, and his passive is incredibly overpowered during teamfights. If they can land a good Morg ult, they can line them all up for Vel'Koz, and he can get a 3 or 4 person ult coming out there. So that Ray is just going to be able to shred through the entire team, and that true damage doesn't matter how much shields you got. If you're taking 300 true damage every 2 seconds, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I want to see how that works, just because I haven't really gotten to experience Vel'Koz that much. And you're saying that he could go a bit more utility of a build, which his team does have a lot of damage already. Jax and Draven, more single target, of course. Kayle can do a lot, depending on... I wonder if she'll run the Hurricane build that has now been seen thanks to LCS. I don't know. Kayle could also run like Flare, I guess, if she wanted to, considering she is an attack speed-based champ. I guess we'll have to see. And I had a point. The one thing I'm scared about for Vel'Koz is that it'll be difficult, I think, for him to lock down a good amount of targets for his ult. He needs Morgana to do that, because Jax, he really can't. He can stun people up. It's not long enough for it to really matter. Morgana can certainly set that kind of situation up for Vel'Koz ult, but it's better for a disengage. It's better when the team jumps onto them and then Morg ults, and immediately they're either forced to back away from their team, the people who haven't gotten hit by the ult, or have to keep going in and just take the stun to the face or try to kill Morg beforehand. So
Very true.
It's going to be interesting. And also, Blue can get away. Blue's got jumps with Jarvan. They've got jumps with Riven. They've got move speed boosts from Lulu and Orianna. I think it's going to be easy for them to get around Vel'Koz's ult if that becomes Purple's biggest damage source. But if it's not, and Vel'Koz goes more utility, they're going to have to work around that too. I think this game is really, really just dynamic. These two comps together, it's not obvious where they want to go, and or who they really want to focus on. And I think that's true in both teams' minds. They don't know who exactly they want to go for yet. So it'll be really cool to see where they end up focusing.
Exactly. I would think that Vel'Koz wants to be on the opposite side of these team comps. Purple team not really going to actually have as much knock aside or any utility to get the other team clumped up together. But looking at these summoner abilities, we do have 2 teleports from Purple team and 2 ignites from Blue team. We did see this yesterday. Quite a different matchup. Purple team's going to be able to roam a lot more, but they're going to have more single focus on Blue team here.
Yeah, they have a lot more global ability, but at the same time, it also means that 2 of their laners are going to be behind in terms of combat summoners, which you see a lot. You see a lot of those combat issues where somebody says, oh, I'm going to go teleport, but then you have a Riven who wants to kill early. They do get to spot out Purple team a little bit with that ball. But Riven being able to, if she can get kills early onto Jax because of that Ignite, maybe not just because of it, but just being able to win her lane solidly, that'll mean a lot because Jax is somebody they really want to get behind, and Riven they want to get ahead because she just can start blowing up people.
That's some nice vision coming out from both sides there onto that single bush in the river. Looking at Vel'Koz, from what we've been talking about with what he should be building, depending on what his team goes, looks like he's just going his standard. He's got some magic resistant, and he's got that 40 AP compared to the 44 in Ori. So Ori's is a little bit tankier as well. I don't know. We've seen Orianna have that auto attack trade, so we'll see how it goes in mid lane. They do have a Jarvan, and Jarvan is really good at getting off those early ganks once he's got the combo. I don't know. Riven's going to be able to pretty much get away because I don't see Kayle being that much of a threat in top lane. Maybe combined with a Jax stun, it would be pretty overwhelming.
Riven can get away pretty easily from that, I think. I think that they want to go for probably bot. There's no jumps on bot. There's no... obviously, mid has no jumps either in Orianna. But at the same time, you can speed yourself up and you have a short lane to go through. Nice Counter-Strike by Jax. Deals a good bit of damage onto Riven. Takes her about 30% of her health. You really underestimate damage that comes out of Counter-Strike just because you think, oh, well, it's not going to do much. But now Riven can trade back really hard now that it's down. Or
Jax getting those auto attacks off, though.
He's going to have Counter-Strike back up now, actually. He could have tried to activate it in Flash, but I don't think it would have been worth it. Riven does have her Ignite and her Flash as well, of course.
Ignite level 1 trades really will be able to let Riven try and get something out of this. But we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, a little poke going down. Nice binding from Morgana. Is going to do a lot of damage. The shield comes out a bit prematurely. Didn't need to activate it quite yet because there's no threat. But there's fights everywhere. It looks like Draven's going in. Exhaust is used on Draven to try to slow some of that damage down, but it looks like somebody's going down. Morgana gets first blood, actually, onto Lulu. And Morg is just able to push Twitch away. He hasn't hit level 2 yet, and if he'd gotten to that point, he might have been able to walk on and do a lot. Kayle comes in instead, is ganking mid, does a lot of damage onto Ori, has to force her Flash to get away from there. And then Jarvan jumps in up top. Riven's being really bold trying to stay in this fight, but gets away from the Counter-Strike. It's too big of a threat, and Blue doesn't want to engage too hard on that. They have a good bit of a lead now, just from that first kill. What do you think about all those fights already?
So many fights going back and forth.
But that could be a very dead Twitch. Oh, the shield from Lulu comes in just in time. It looks like Twitch didn't even have to flash for that, nor did Lulu have to flash to get in range. So that was really, really lucky timing that Lulu showed up just then. Otherwise, he would have been very dead. Jarvan would have gotten a nice bit of adoration stacks from that. Oh, that damage coming from Vel'Koz with that passive popping deals a lot of extra true damage that you're not expecting. And Ori, with no health or mana, has to get out of there.
One thing about Vel'Koz is even though he doesn't win the auto attack trades, if he gets an auto attack off on an opponent, it does actually keep those stacks on the target for another 7 seconds. So he can use that, lose the auto attack trade, but keep that passive on his enemy so that he can get the extra damage off. I don't know. What do you think about these trades coming up here? Because look how ahead Jax is from this Riven. He's behind in farm, but if any trade goes out, he's most definitely going to win it.
Well, here's one issue. Riven didn't go back when Jax did. And Jax, because he had teleport, immediately got back to lane. I'm not sure if he popped it on a turret or not. I'm going to check that real quick. He did pop it on a minion, so he went for the very, very aggressive idea of going onto a minion, making sure that Riven couldn't recall. Came back with a Doran's Blade, which is actually, I don't know if he went with Shield or Blade first, but he picked up the other Doran's item. So he's going to win those trades, and now Riven's going to go back and going to lose a bunch of minions and experience to that turret. Kayle's coming in for a gank, though. Might be able to get behind the Twitch and Lulu bottom lane. They don't see her, so Fireboy's going to get behind. This is just going to be an easy gank. They both have flash, though. Polymorph comes down onto Kayle. Does allow Lulu to flash away. One more tick is going to take him down. Kayle gets the kill. Well played. They burned, I think... Twitch still hasn't flashed yet, which is pretty amazing considering how many fights he's been in. But he hasn't died. Lulu's actually taken both of those deaths for Blue Team. And getting a kill over onto Kayle is going to be really important. She now has 1,200 gold. I don't know what she's going to go back and buy, but I think that'll be telling of what she's going for. Which looks like Spirit Stone means that it could... maybe a Spectral Wraith. I haven't seen a Spectral Wraith in a long time, but who knows? Wow, that was a I think Vel'Koz forgot that he can activate the second part of his Q to burst it early. But
So looking
go ahead.
But looking at these matchups here, we have seen Red Team.
Oh, Jarvan
Jarvan
with a brush gank comes in. He's not going to be able to get the last bit of damage, but the Twitch passive does take down Draven. That's going to be 2 kills, I think. I don't think Morgana's able to get away from this. Yeah, they just hand over the kills to Twitch, wait on it. Might as well leave it to the AD carry. Riven does get a kill on top onto Jax. She's popped her ult. I don't know if she's going to try to re-engage this, but there's wards in both brushes. She can't really get away from that. Kayle picks up her second kill. And she's got a good bit of a lead on the Jarvan now. Good 500 gold lead. But go ahead with what you were saying before. As Dragon gets taken by blue.
Well, those matchups that I was about to talk about in top lane apparently do not matter because Riven is just going to go ahead and smack down Jax without even using her ultimate. She still had that left over to try and fight the Kayle when she had 200 health for some reason.
Well, she popped her. She popped 6 during the fight. I think right after the fight. That's why she didn't use it. And I mean, Jax wasn't even 6 yet, so he's probably pretty much about to hit it. Yeah, he's about to hit 6, so that's probably what happened. It would have been pretty cool to see Riven try to fight that, but she didn't know both brushes were warded. Wasn't able to get out of there. Miss Wizzy, these are plat diamond players only. That's all we accept for our aid tournament. But literally everyone can come join these. We'll talk about it after the game too.
Exactly. We do have these tournaments matched up into small things, but yes, we'll go into more detail. So, looking at this bottom lane here.
Unless the fight goes top and everyone backs away. Oh, Riven does jump back in right at the wrong time for the counter strike to go off. Does mean that that trade goes pretty even actually. Kind of surprising considering how much went down there. But right now, in terms of gold, Riven's got a little bit of a lead, 400, but they're both running Dorans for days. I don't actually know what anyone's going to buy yet. The Rejuvenation bead pretty much says that Riven's going for a Tiamat, whereas Jax hasn't really said a whole lot. It usually goes for a Bork or potentially a Triforce. The Longsword is too early to tell. Stun does come down.
Skirmish.
Yeah, they're just skirmishing a little bit. They're not really doing a whole lot. But Morgana does throw that black shield to try to block some of the slows. The exhaust comes down onto Twitch, tries to slow him down too, because all that damage has taken Draven so low. He does have his heals, so he needs to get away with it. But instead, I think they're just going to back away. Draven's going to try to heal up with that pot. Up top, Riven has popped her ult. Takes Jax really low. He's out of mana too, so he really has to get out of there. His teleport is not quite up yet because he used it on the minion earlier, but everyone backs away with their lives.
So much fighting coming out from both sides here. Hardly any farming being able to be taken out because they're just farming. They're just fighting all the way out. Top lane going until they have to back almost. And here comes Kayle and Jarvan, both positioned for a gank.
This could be fun. Could be fun. It looks like Kayle's going to back away. Maybe try to counter jungle or just try to get behind that Orianna. Not really clear what she's trying to do yet. I think she's checking for blue buff and then wolves. And then if there's a gank opportunity, she'll come around the back. But looks like she's gonna back out instead. One thing to note: look at the items on the AD carries. BF sword versus boots 2 and long sword. But here comes the gank. Kayle's coming in. She does have her ult, so she could really save anyone who goes too hard, and everyone just backs away. No fight at all.
Does have double buff to Jarvan just having red buff. So there's the binding.
A nice binding means that Lulu takes a good chunk, but they can't really follow up on that. Draven just hit 6. They need Morg 6 more than Draven's, even though Draven does after a lot of damage. And it looks like it might be another counter gank coming on bottom. Kayle's going to walk up and do a little bit, but is taking so much instead. Has to burn her ult and flash away because she gets caught out. Jarvan's going to jump in and probably ult on top of somebody. Jumps on. Oh, nice. Wild Growth knocks everyone up. They take down Kayle as well. Not quite enough to kill Morgana. She escapes with about 200 health, but the teleport's coming down from, I think, Jax. Jax has jumped in, as has Vel'Koz. Both teleport down bottom. Draven ends up taking down Lulu. Jax gets Jarvan, and Vel'Koz gets Twitch. 3 kills down bottom for only 1. Turned that out really well, but they had to burn both teleports. It might mean that Blue's able to take out 1 or 2 turrets, but at the same time, that worked out really well. Got a kill that popped some adoration stacks as well, put Draven in the lead bot lane. and help Jax out too. Every single person got kills there except for Morgana.
I don't know if you saw it down there, but that wild growth coming up actually popped Morgana out of that Jarvan ult right there, keeping her alive.
I did not know that could happen. Oh my god, that was actually a really, really crazy engage. Jax has got his Counter-Strike down, gonna just easily take down this Riven. She stayed way too long after taking the turret. And Purple gets a turret in return, so evens that up. I like that Jax, when he started his Counter-Strike, Riven used her third Q and knocked him away a little bit, but then he just walked back and it was pretty easy. So, right out about... Go.
Incredible fighting coming out from both sides here. Jax with that double buff, really, that he picked up from bots, really going to be able to let him trade with his Riven, even though he was a little bit behind, and he is behind in farm. He's going to get this turret to equalize it, but looking at their build, he is going for that Cutlass, so he's probably just going to go in for that Blade of the Rune King from there. No Trinity Force build from this Jax.
Well, not quite. A lot of people I've seen on Jax will go Bork first and then go into T-Force. It works really, really well. He gets every stat benefits him really, really well. So that's a big deal. If every stat works for you, Trinity Force is an incredibly gold efficient item too. Jarvan's coming around the back. Might try to do a tower dive here. I don't know if he has his ult. No, he's going to go just through the river instead. Not going to dive immediately onto them. Might go for a river or brush gank. But we'll see. Looks like Lulu's walking around. Dragons in 20 seconds. They may just be kind of positioning for that instead.
You have those pink ward battles going on and that little push in the river.
Oh, Lulu's kind of caught here. She does not have her flash, so she needs somebody to come follow up. It looks like that's going to be Orianna, who's taking a lot cause. That's just going to be an easy kill onto Lulu. Just whoever wants to take it pretty much gets it. And that turns out to be Kayle. Another fight goes down bottom. Draven picks up a kill with his ult. Gets another stack of Adoration. And they're just going to be able to take a dragon for free. Now with a 3k gold lead that's about to extend to 4. Purple's looking pretty well in control.
There goes Dragon. So much more of a lead. So that goes up to almost a 5,000. Oh, there it is.
No, it's right at 4,000.
4,000 right there. A nice lead for Purple side right there. The jungle Kayle showing that she's still relevant even after the Feral nerfs.
Well, she's not going for Feral, which is not surprising after that nerf. Has gone Spirit, Spectral Wraith, which is interesting because not a lot of people build that. It has a lot of Spell Vamp and CDR and AP, which makes sense for Kayle, but I guess it's the one I would pick. I just hadn't thought about using a Spirit item on her, and Flare does take quite a while. Fireboy wanted to gank more. Makes sense for him to go for non-Flare items.
Well, a bunch of the professional junglers that are using Kayle still have actually switched over to that Wraith. And here comes a little bit of engage, but she's just going to walk it out. Just, I am Kayle, I can take your farm.
And, I mean, Kayle's not really scared. She can get away. She's pretty fed. 3-1 and 2 and double the farm of Jarvan. She's up 1,600 gold on him. So she's one of them. She actually has second most gold in the game behind Draven, who's had that Adoration give him probably a good bit. I haven't checked on the numbers just yet. But looking at that, that's where the two big discrepancies are in terms of that 4K lead. 1,500 for... Oh, well, it turns out Riven's jumping in, going all the way onto Morgana. That Black Shield does nothing but stop the stun briefly, because all the physical damage means that Black Shield stops absolutely nothing. Gets blown up immediately. Riven, really nice kill there. Just because she can.
That teammate's going to give her a huge burst in damage now that she's got it up. She can use that double auto and actually try and take someone out just like that. Let's see what blue team does. Are they going to force on this turret? Because
they should.
Tough.
They should, with Jax being top. No teleport quite yet. They don't know that, but they might have an idea. And that the turret's already pretty close to being dead. They could actually make a pretty good engage here. Although the Kayle ult would be kind of scary to deal with. Oh, nice ult coming out from Draven. Keeps everyone pretty low after Vel'Koz and Kayle have burned him down pretty low. Jarvan goes back in, surprisingly. Don't know if his team was ready for him to do that, but they might have been able to try something with the ball delivery, pop that command shockwave, and deal a lot of damage if Purple had been caught out there. Instead, backing away.
I don't know if Purple can actually shove this turret. They do have an Orianna clearing out that wave really quickly.
They've got the poke, too. The thing is, Vel'Koz is doing a lot of damage, but he's going to run out of mana eventually. Despite having pretty good mana costs on it, or beneficial mana costs, he doesn't have blue buff right now. so that's eventually going to run out. Whereas Ori can pretty much clear forever with her blue buff. But if that knockup had landed, instead Kale's going in really hard on this Lulu. The wild growth is maybe just going to be enough to no, not enough to save her. Looks like red buff does take her down. Kale pops the ult when she goes in to tank this church shot. She's going to definitely die because she gets caught in the Jarvan ult. Morgold comes down too. Stuns, lands onto Twitch. Twitch dies immediately. That's been a 3-for-1 so far. Ori is trying to go in and even up the score a little bit. And Ori might be able to. She has red buff, so she's going to deal a lot with her auto attacks and slow everyone down. Gets the kill on Morgana. That's probably going to be it for the fight for now. But crazy 3-for-2. That turns into not a turret quite yet. Jax might be able to push it down, but actually everyone's just going to back away after that. No gold lead really gained or lost there. So, good fight. Crazy fight. Ori somehow misses the obvious pink ward in that brush, but that happens sometimes.
We've seen crazier things happen. People just walk straight through the brush all the way around a long bush and see a pink and just don't do anything about it. But looking at this bot lane matchup, Draven, a good 30 CS ahead of Twitch. Got that Bloodthirster, he's got those double Dorans, and now he just picked up a Zeal as well. And Twitch only has a BF sword and a Bilgewater. I mean, let's look at the gold difference.
1,200.
Yeah,
or 1,100 now, yeah.
Not that much, but this is still early in the game. A little bit's going to make a big difference.
Well, Zeal isn't really a finished item, is one thing. And if you 1,100 gold goes a long way, and that's pretty much finishing up a Bloodthirster from a BF sword, whereas you have BF and Cutlass, which aren't finished items either. So I think that's clearly showing. I don't know if Twitch hasn't really decided where he wants to go yet, but it looks like another fight going on top. Both Riven and Jax pop their ultimates. Riven just, why is she auto attacking so much? She's going to easily lose this fight if she keeps doing that. Instead, Jax is just melting her. He's almost out of mana though, but if she pull this off right and uses the Wind Slash to execute, might be able to take him down. Jax does have to flash away a little bit. Riven never popped the second activation of her ult, which is a huge mistake because now Jax is walking with barely any health, flashes the Dark Binding, probably going to get away. Slight misplay by Riven there because I thought she would have won that fight had she fired the Wind Slash, considering Jax is at maybe 250 health.
Most definitely. It does a huge amount of burst when taking down targets like that. It would have been closer to the 500 range even with the armor that he has.
Oh yeah, and it's execute damage too. Nice engage coming out from Twitch. Gets caught. Morgana gets caught because Twitch is invisible and he doesn't know. Jarvan jumps in, is gonna with this Cataclysm. Looks like Orianna had to. Oh, who am I talking about? Vel'Koz had to flash away to get out of that. Didn't want to have that command shockwave on top of him, even though it's not up. So no threat of that. But being caught in Cataclysm is pretty scary. And Dragon's coming up in 8 seconds. Blue looks like they're posturing for it now, especially with Jax up top. Both Jax and Vel'Koz do have their teleports, so I wonder what's going to happen there, if they're going to try to go for it. I'm going to turn you up, apparently. You are not quite loud enough, so I'm going to mess with that a little bit.
Go for it. But here is the Dragon from blue side. Hopefully they can use that, because they've already closed the gap. They're only about 1,500 gold behind purple team. Let's see what they can do. It's anyone's game at this point. They've got the combos, they've got the experience, and that was a nice engage by Vel'Koz.
That Disintegration Ray does so much damage. Oh, but the ult from Draven does take down Lulu. He did wait to use that. He did flash and then use the ult after the exhaust went finally ended. So he was doing full damage. Crushes down Lulu even through her ult and that extra health gain she gets. But instead, she still dies. That Morgana Binding doesn't quite land, but Purple looks like they're going to take 2 turrets pretty much for free here. After just taking down the support. Now back to that 4,000 gold lead that's been hovering around for most of the last, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Even though Blue did win a little bit. Looks like Purple's still in position.
Looks like Purple's actually taking this advantage and going for this bot turret. We do have Jarvan still around mid lane, so if they shove it fast enough with that Kayle and Jax, they can probably get this before Ori and Jarvan appear. Already at half health, let's see what they do.
Pulling you up a little bit more. It's probably going to be loud on my side, but I can turn that down on me. Alright, yeah, everyone just backs away from that. It's... I don't know. I think Purple doesn't want to throw here. They're trying not to force anything when they have such a good gold lead. And they know that Oh, and they know they can catch somebody. And it looks like it's going to be Riven. Riven does get binded down. Probably is going to get blown up too fast. Yep, Morgana does take her down, probably with either an auto attack or the Tormented Soil getting the kill. Kale's going to go steal blue buff away from Orianna. It's going to hurt her a lot. And go push down the top turret while the rest of her team gets an easy free bot turret because with Riven dead and the turret being that low, it's pretty easy. Kale's going to just walk away from this too. She can just jump away with that move speed pretty much infinitely now because of that blue buff. Jarvan's not going to catch her anyways. Nice damage onto Morgana. Doesn't get stopped because he's got Black Shield, but instead Jax jumps in, uses Counter Strike to stun down both Lulu and other people. He's going to dive for it though, and it hasn't taken anyone down yet. Twitch, the binding does land, doing the last damage that needs to kill him. Riven's jumped in with her ult, is doing a lot of damage to that Draven. One more auto attack will definitely kill him. That Black Shield won't do anything to stop Riven, but he gets caught out by the knockback from Vel'Koz, and Riven just doesn't stop though. Ends up killing the Vel'Koz thanks to Orianna taking the kill at the end. Really, really nice that Riven was able to just stay in the fight. And a fight with the junglers going on up top. Kayle forces Jarvan's flash away because she's dealing so much damage with every auto attack now that she has Nashers and that AP. Scales with every single auto attack. Looks like Morgana's going to have to stick around here. She might get dived on by Riven. I actually like to see that. Riven doesn't have her ult quite yet, but might just be able to crush down. Oh, the stun coming out means that Riven needs to get away now. But there's no real threat because she's not under turret range anymore. If that stun was instantaneous, probably would have died.
Well, it looks like Purple Team is going to have to be careful because they're running out of turrets to split push. After that last top one, they're down to inhibs, and those are a little bit harder to take because of the regeneration. It will let them be able to pressure objectives such as Dragon and Baron more, but they're not going to be able to have full vision around that. They can't ward behind it. There is going to be a team behind those walls, and sometimes they can clear it very well as long as the team is good at noticing the wards being placed behind their own walls. So it's going to be interesting to see what Purple Team does when they take that last turret. Do they just push down mid, or do they continue the split push game that they're going through?
I think the smart move would be, because they have, and I think they're actually already kind of showing this with their items. You see Jax has a green ward in his inventory. Pink ward coming up from Lulu as well. I think they're going to just ward up. Oh, she's going for it. Kayle just runs on top of on top of that Orianna. Her ult doesn't stop the CC though, so Kayle isn't able to finish off Orianna quite yet. Might get caught out by 3 members running up for her. Riven's jumped on, has flash stunned. I think that's gonna be a very, very dead Kayle for nothing. But going back to my point, I think Purple's gonna ward up the top side jungle, push down both top and mid after they get that turret, and then just either clear out Baron Vision and go for it when they know that they can see people, or bait it. Because that seems to be the best move against a team that has fairly, I'd say, alright wave clear. Orianna's got good wave clear, but at the same time, they don't have anything else to follow it up. Like, the problem is that, they do barely see Twitch as he runs away, but the Twitch doesn't do that great at wave clear. Oh, he does get caught now, though. Stand aside's used from Draven. The Binding Lands, that's a very dead rat. Vel'Koz gets the kill. 2-1-9 now. He's looking real, real good.
It looks like he's going that damage build that I was talking about. Since he has not been targeted and he's not been killed at all, he can just go straight for that damage build. He doesn't have to worry about being focused down like they do onto Kayle right now, who is just a monster with a death cap and a Nashor's. She's just smacking people down, reducing their resistances for that Vel'Koz, and it's just so much offensive that is actually their own defense as well. Jax has that ult that lets him do both. Kayle has her ult that lets her go as far as she needs to, and Vel'Koz just does as much damage from behind.
Stun doesn't land onto Kayle, doesn't land onto Riven originally, but it looks like they're able to just split the damage as though it's a turret, and Kayle just walks away because of that ult and gets an easy kill onto Riven. Another engage coming on mid as Lulu jumps in with her ult, just trying to knock up and slow Vel'Koz and Morgana. It looks like with Twitch around the back too, and the command shockwave coming out, they take down Morgana. Twitch has been exhausted. Is going to get caught out by Draven and Kayle. Jax is just not stopping though. The disintegration ray lands, crushes Lulu and Jarvan so quickly. just with how fed he is and that damage build you're talking about, that's what he does. If he goes damage, he's not going to be mobile, but he will deal so much. I actually should take a look at how much that's dealing per second now. Oh my goodness, it does a total of 900 damage if you get hit by it. That's unbelievable.
That's 900 damage, and you're forgetting that it adds organic
with his stacks
disintegration.
too.
Every half second, so every 1.5 seconds, it's going to be doing an extra about 200 damage.
155 true damage. That's unbelievable. So, instead, Purple does get those kills immediately versus Baron. Is now at a 9k gold lead, and I think has Baron on all 5 of their members, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like, yeah, every single one of them has come out with it. I wonder if Morg's going to try to solo Dragon. Probably not going to happen, but they can really just push down objectives now. They have the regen for it, too. So all they have to do is catch somebody with either a binding or have Vel'Koz keep hitting his Qs to just push them down, get them away from the turret. And once they get one person down pretty low, it's probably going to be game.
A nice 9,000, almost, there we go.
Now 10.
Still 9,000.
Yeah.
Lead coming out from Purple Team here. Looking again at those 80 carries, like we were talking about incomplete items and so on, he's turned that Zeal into a Phantom Dancer, and he's picked up a Last Whisper as well, getting super ahead. A Draven with the Last Whisper is nothing to talk about. It's just incredibly...
It's everything to talk about. I want to talk about it. Yeah, nothing to scoff at. That's scary. He auto-attacks so fast. His single target damage is the scary part, because he just blows people up with the spinning axes. And once they catch somebody with the binding is the main one, but whoever he feels like, if it's caught between like a Jack situation. But now, like you were saying, they're warding over those walls, able to see stuff. It's why I'd like to see the B Siege team pull out pink wards. Oh, the binding lands. That's very dead Twitch. He got caught up by Kale's damage early, and then the binding helped finish that off very easily. They're probably going to be able to get an inhib turret for this very easily, and probably take an inhib, especially with Baron. That regen says, hey, we're not getting hurt, you guys are. Jax jumps in, runs away. Because the binding lands, disintegration rate comes out, means a very dead Lulu. Morgana steals another kill because she's a scumbag. And Jax goes in, is just wailing on that Jarvan. And so much damage getting hit onto onto Ori as well. One last auto from Draven takes down, I don't even know, 800 health. Instead, they pop Riven's GA. The stun comes down, charges the Counter-Strike ahead of time for right when she comes up. This is probably game if they want to take it. It's pretty easy. They've got 2 people dead for 30 seconds apiece, and then Lulu's just about to get back up. Looks like they're going to go for the win. Takes down the second turret. Morg ult comes out, is going to land onto Jarvan. She's just kind of walking up there just for fun. Nexus is done. This is GG.
Good game coming out from Purple Team, ending up with a 13 kill lead and a 16,000 gold lead. Only 2 turrets of the outside being picked up by Blue Team here. Crazy advantage that they got with that siege.
Yeah, really, really well played by them. Like they pushed it down pretty methodically. It wasn't really in doubt because they just won every single lane, it seems. So you do see Orianna finished pretty well, 5-1-1, but wasn't able to make enough of an impact to carry her team, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to take a quick restroom break. I think is our other game. Other game's probably up. I'm going to be back in like 2 seconds, get some water, and get ready for the finals. I know you all are so excited about. I'll put on some music so you guys don't get bored, because I know that's how that works. Let's see here. We'll go with this.
I do not see the game up yet, so I think you're good for your bathroom break.
Why can't I hear my music? Alright, if the music's really loud, let me know. I really can't tell, because I don't know how loud stuff appears in this, but... Actually, it's going to get louder in a second.
And I will be right back just as well as you.
Alright. Hippie Moses, I just put all the info into chat thanks to Nightbot. Sorry about Nightbot putting up all the Get Fit stuff. That's just something we can't really control, I think. I don't really know why it's happening. I think people just typed it earlier and it took forever to respond. So, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alright, I'm back. You here?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty. Let me go ahead and... Alright. Let's see here. Go find the game. So, let's see here. Okay, still stuff going on here. Okay, so for the people who are wondering what this is, the painting, that would be if you guys watch The League, like the FX show about like fantasy football. It is a painting from that. It is called a Kloonberg. It's kind of a joke painting, but it ended up being my friends and my fantasy football prize, like first place prize, even though it looks weird as hell and everyone's really confused about it all the time. That is what it is. Game A2, A7. Alright. Looks like you're already in there. Cool.
Yes, I'm not sure if they're in order yet or not, though. They're talking about Mordekaiser for some reason in the chat, though.
There's a guy named Mordekaiser who plays pretty frequently.
Oh.
So that might be who they're talking about. But oh, Virus, do you actually know do you know which one I'm talking about? Because it's called Kloonberg. It's like one that Andre buys in like the second or third episode. It costs like a stupid amount of money, like $30,000. This cost us not that much, thankfully, because that would be a bit ridiculous for something this magnitude. Don't ban Mord, please. Okay. So guys, expect Mordekaiser picks coming up. Definitely happening.
Mordekaiser, the ultimate victor or the ultimate troll?
I like the thing I always remember about Mordekaiser is there's a Civ HD video where he said win by feeding, and what he did is they just fed the hell out of the AD carry on the other team, and then later game they would ult him with Mordekaiser and then win the game because they had the clone that was super fed. It was hilarious. Okay. Alright, looks like they might be back. I know that... Who was asking? Somebody was asking about the tournaments. So, just quick rundown, even though Nightbot told you a little bit about them. They are split up, and they are every single day split up into A, B, C, D brackets, with A being plat diamond, B being gold, C being silver, D being bronze, with a little bit of overlap depending on how many people we have. And so if you join in at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, you can come play. You'll get matched up with people of your skill level. And if you make it to top 4, you win prizes, which are just RP from somewhere around 800 to 3200, also in chat already. And it's completely free. I had to try to convince one of my real life friends about this the other day. He said, so you don't have to pay things. It's like, yes, it's pretty simple. Just show up. So,
like solo queue, but better.
Oh yeah, it's like solo queue, and you get to talk with your team the whole time in TeamSpeak, so it's really easy. I played it last week. I did the T-Force podcast one because I'm a member of the T-Force podcast, and it was a lot of fun. Shotcasted by Pone and Greg. You're not bronze, you got put in D today. Well, you might be silver 5? I don't know. I don't organize that part. I just talk about the games that are happening. Alright, so we're ready. Might be jumping into game any second now. Let's see if Fireboy can win another tournament. He's been a very common person to get far into the tournament, not surprisingly.
We're talking about you.
What?
You're plat 3, but
I love that. It happens in solo queue so much too. So Sharp, if you're listening, I can tell you about it. But I didn't play solo queue last season, and I didn't play solo queue like at all. I didn't get ranked, and so when the rewards came around, I only had a 3v3 team that plays bronze. Like I really didn't play League much last season, so I had this bronze 3 emblem. But I started playing solo queue this season and did gold 1 and then plat 3, plat 5, plat 3. So it's hilarious when people would see the loading screen like, wait, what? That's not how it's supposed to happen. So Virus, I don't know what happened then. That's nothing I can control. Also, is this good music level for the people who are listening? Because I just want to figure out if that's good for future things. Because music is so important for this. Let's throw this over here real quick. And we're jumping into it. As soon as I put team... which one is it? BG Champ Select. Cool. Jackson,
alright, so there's that Jax ban right off the bat.
Well, that's not... Blue team did play Jax last game, which we just saw. But I think this is the same kind of bans they're putting out. They did ban Thresh last game as well. So that's kind of an interesting first ban, because you'd expect that if Jax was such a high priority, they might try to pick him, unless they had somebody higher and they didn't want it to be picked by the second 2 coming out from purple. Then Karma. Interesting. Draven's obviously targeted, and Draven and Kayle are the last 2 picks, obviously, from blue team, so not surprising to see them get banned out.
And there's that Kassadin, the always everywhere Kassadin. What's that late game? Jump, jump, jump. Oh, out of mana. But still, even though he's out of mana, he gets a whole bunch of it back whenever he fights. So he's still in there. And after that rework, he is still a force to be reckoned with. So there goes the ban for him. A Braum being picked up from purple team. Very great team fight comes out of Braum. He's got that passive applying to everything. And whenever you get those auto attacks and that damage off, he can just get that stun out, which really turns around team fights. But Morgana doing the same thing. Her ult is not going to be able to be blocked by Braum, and neither is the Q. I mean, he can move in front of it, but it's not something that's really blockable.
Well, he gets CC'd by it, but I don't know if I like that pick, because you've got 2 supports that do the same thing, except from different positions. Both Morg and Braum are the 2 best disengaged supports. Morg, when she's ahead, can be an engaged support, but Braum, it's not easy to get up in the face of people. He's much better, I think, as a disengaged support, because he can just... if somebody jumps in, Braum is right where he wants to be. He was right where he wants to be for that person. So, I don't know. I played Braum. I usually pick Morg against Braum if I see a Braum, so I don't know if that's... I don't like it as a matchup, but this could be a very good Braum player. I haven't seen his full potential because he's only been out for a few weeks, and I'm not a great player. Turn up music a little bit. That'll probably be too loud, but
I was looking at your ranked stats. Are you a support main?
I am.
Ah, okay.
And so I'm just picking up Morg right now. I'm not good at her, but I'm a Thresh Lulu, Leona player. Kog'Maw.
There's the Kog'Maw.
I don't know if I like that with a Nocturne on their team. That's scary. There we go. Perfect. Music set now. Good stuff. Thank you, Hippie. Help me out with that. I'll try to remember that for next time, or for tomorrow, because I think I'm casting tomorrow too. But seeing, again, Teemo gets picked up as a troll from purple team every time, ironically. But Kog is interesting, because it means that Nocturne can just jump on top of him, and he's going to be their late game hyper carry. He's murderously strong late game. So, I don't know. Defuse, TSL victorious. Let's see if that'll help. Yep. That'll give you the link for where you need to go, Hippie. You should definitely come play. It's a lot of fun. If you've got a night, you got nothing going on, might as well do it. But Lucian,
to spend your night.
Lucian being picked with Braum is smart too, because the double auto attacks that he gets from his passive means that that's going to be an extra stack, more than most people would get with Braum's passive. And Nivea insta-locked.
We're seeing Corius go for these team fight mid laners over and over again. We saw the Vel'Koz last time, and Nivea just as much of a team fight champion. He's that ultimate, really able to pull things around.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. There's a little bit of actually good. I'm thinking they're not really an AoE comp, kind of, but I'm just kind of thinking of the idea of every single person on blue team has a targeted circle ability. Like Morg can jump in with her ult. Kog has a very small one with his ult, but then you've got Eve ult, Anivia ult, and Panth ult. If they all could somehow just say, hey, purple team, clump up in one area for a little bit and then drop everything, obviously it would be crushing, but it's kind of an amusing, it's pseudo, not really AoE comp. I just want to pretend it is for a little bit. But Pantheon's probably going to be a top laner then.
Probably we did see Corius in the mid lane last time, and I doubt it's going to be the secret Nivea support from Froggen or something like that. Dark kind of trolling us with his picks there.
I think that's going to be well, the thing is, it looks like it might be a Pantheon versus a Nunu. Because you've already got Nocturne. He's almost undoubtedly going in jungle. Nunu's not really much of a mid laner. Stream Doctor, I don't know if you're serious or not. I don't feel like Runon's is a good item on anybody. Except for maybe Kayle now. But
that Teemo, though.
I mean, God, I don't even want to think about it. He was saying Kog. Kog could build Hurricane. I'd say he's probably one of the only ones who can, because the on-hit ability when he's got Biocarrying Barrage up. But Syndra instead means that's going to be Nunu top, almost undoubtedly. Nunu versus Pantheon's interesting, because if Nunu can survive the early kind of burst, Nunu's just so tanky, and he just bullies people down. Not sure what happened there. It'll be same picks bans. And you can see my face again for a little bit.
Yeah, more FaceTime. So while we're just waiting here, let's go ahead and talk about what we were talking about. Supports. So, have you thought about jumping on that Braum train wagon?
Oh, I bought him, and I like playing him a little bit, but after playing him just unnecessarily, unnecessarily is not the right word. After playing him just randomly saying, hey, I can play Braum, I should, I'm rethinking it a little bit, and I want to play him when I need a disengaged tanky person. I don't want to just pick him because Braum's up, he's totally OP. I want to pick him because it works for the comp. Now I can't go knock support. I wonder what they're doing here, but he's good, but I don't want to just pick him for no reason.
I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. It's just slightly, I don't know. It's just what I think of it. I don't know. I shouldn't overthink it, but I think it's whenever I'm playing fives, I usually try to pick the support with the comp. Just because I've been trying to think more than just saying, these are my best champs. I want to like play to the comp, and I don't know. I talked about this a lot on the podcast last night, but alright, jumping in. They're gonna do this real quick. This should take no more than like 5 seconds just because everyone knows what they're picking already. But
Troll bands coming out from Purple side because they already know what they're playing. Here we go again, I guess. We're gonna have another quick lock-in, hopefully.
oh
It
yeah,
doesn't take as much time. When the Braum came out, I actually looked at him and I saw his ultimate. That would combo really well with a Rumble.
if you could land them together, I think the only problem is that both of them have a good amount of time. Braum's ult is slow, and it can't be used as an engage tool. It either has to be follow up or counter engage, because if you hit somebody with that ult, it's so telegraphed, and you would just have to be not moving for it to not work. So if you have somebody like the Syndra stun coming down first, or Nocturne locking somebody up, maybe Nunu slowing somebody really hard, then I can see it working, but it's just so slow. It's good though, and if you have some people on top of you, that immediate knock up to those people around you, as well as the line slow and knock up, is great. I also don't know what's going on with this talk in Twitch chat from you.
Oh, I accidentally mixed up bandwagon with train wagon, and I'm very happy. No one noticed a single thing. Even after I said it in the Twitch chat, I just very severely just said train wagon, getting on that Braum train wagon.
Maybe that's for the small children who want to play.
Yeah, man, gotta get on that train while it's a wagon.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're getting to that 3-minute delay. You were saying?
Oh no, everyone's talking about the CLG bans coming up.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of trolls. It's always fun if you can make something with those. But no, normally it's never that crazy. So we can start reanalyzing everything at extra time, and my music likes to cut out. I really want to see Nunu Pantheon. Both of them are such bullies early.
I think the Pantheon should win that trade, because if he can get that spear out before the Nunu low health heals, he's gonna be able to crit. And if Nunu is actually able to dominate the Pantheon, which we've seen in early season 2-ish, before Nunu's heal got nerfed, I don't know. Nunu's heal did get nerfed, so he's not gonna have the amount of control that he would have normally had. I'm just hoping to see how Bush Absolute Zero.
I see the Empires going on, but I don't know. Pantheon crit doesn't happen too early. It's like you still have to get down to that 15%, and you also would have to get him down. Like, you'd have to hit that. I don't know if you go with that. You probably go with that level 2 and then stun level 3. Nunu he's interesting because you can win trades at level 1 really hard and early levels, because most of those early trades are based on auto attacks, and the slow that comes out from the ice ball is so detrimental to attack speed that you just automatically win those trades, regardless of if you're that beat out on AD. We'll have to see. I don't really know why. I don't really know what the Nunu pick is for. It might be for potentially blood boiling a late game Nocturne, who will be having flare and needs to get that just even more attack speed to just be an absolute monster. I could see that being part of it. Lucian's not that auto attack base or attack speed base, but his ult does scale off a bit for the number of shots, so could go there too.
Looking at that top lane matchup even more though, it's gonna be depending on what these two build. Does Pantheon go for penetration? Does he go straight for those bloodthirsters? Does Nunu go for a rod, or does he just go tank? It'll be interesting to see if AP or damage or penetration comes out from the two of them. Do they roam? Neither of them has teleport, but Pantheon has that ignite, and I mean not the ignite. He has that slam that he can just get halfway across the map just like that, and Nunu's not gonna be able to cancel it.
Yeah, he can't. That is one advantage. And actually a teleport coming out from mid lane Anivia, so just like last time, going for more team fight kind of things.
Hopefully we can see more of those fights on bot lane like we saw from them last game.
I'd like to see a Rod of Ages come out first from Nunu. I think he wants to get some damage and tank. It gives everything Nunu wants anyways. I think that's probably the best first item, and then going tanky from there. He's just going to try to run in and be super disruptive He can
Absolutely.
he can position himself well to annoy people, but I don't know. It's not as obvious as the Vel'Koz. When Vel'Koz said, "Hey," like Vel'Koz picked last game, I said, "Okay, I can see what's going on there. Maybe I'm gonna learn something this game," which is what this is all about.
Absolutely, all about that learning from both sides coming out, and we get to watch these two teams go on head to head against each other. The top players that we've got here at Victorious Gaming in Tournament A for the final match, guys. For any of you guys just joining in, this is the final, not the semi-final. And we have Team 2 on the blue side and Team 17 on the purple side here.
Yeah, they made it through. Played, I think, maybe 4 or 5 games apiece. I don't know if each of them had to do play-in too. Yeah, it looks like it. So they've been playing for a while tonight, but they are one game away from winning that extra 800 RP, bringing them up to 3,200 apiece, and Triumphant Rise, if they don't already have it, even though I know a few of these people definitely do. But what is this? What is... Oh, more Skype things. Get out of here. No one
I know,
cares.
they're having a conversation about video games.
Big surprise. Let's see here.
Totally not any nerds in here.
Oh, definitely not. The amount of times I've had to explain to people what I'm doing, like I had to leave essentially an ultimate frisbee after party to go podcast Sunday night, and they were just like, "Wait, you're doing what?" And I'm like, "Just all right. This is gonna take a while to explain." So let's see. We should be in game in just a second, I hope. Then I'll cut off Walk the Moon, which everyone's really excited about. All right, cut it. Music done. In game. We are set. And nice things being put out. Nocturne's being so kind. Good luck, have fun. Thrown out. Let's see here. Braum not surprisingly grabbing the... Oh, wow, I'm messing up the scoreboard already. Braum going with the Relic Shield. It's the item you have to pick up on him. He's, I think, the only champion that just, like, the Talisman's not even an option on. Not because it's not good on him. I just think Relic Shield is way better. Because everyone kind of forgets that Braum's Q scales off of health, too. Off of max health. Which is such
I did not actually know that.
Yes. It doesn't actually scale off AP. Oh, Nunu gets caught out. Might have to flash this. Pantheon's running after him. If he gets another spear, he might be able to flash in and get a crit. Nope. Nunu does have to flash away. That's going to be a nice advantage for Pantheon early in that lane. But yeah, just checking real quick. Yeah, Braum's Q does not scale off anything but max health. Not even AP.
Huh.
So that's something everyone forgets. And it's why Braum is kind of just looks even better as a champion as a support champion, because he can just build health and just scale with that, because he already gets resistances from his stand behind me. What else do you need? Cog could get caught here. This could be a really good fight. Oh, the stun comes out. Stun. It might come out in a second with 2 more autos. Yep. There it comes out. That could be a very dead Cog. Exhaust comes out trying to stop Cog from getting away, but he does flash. Exhaust for flash trade is not a bad trade. Actually wins out for purple team because that's a much longer cooldown. But I was going to walk away. Binding lands, and no one's going to follow up on this. Buffs are about to spawn, so Morg's going to try to help out Eve with her red buff.
Gonna have to stick around with a little bit less health, but it's really not gonna affect him. He does have that relic shield, so got that regen.
Yeah. He'll be fine. And I mean, it's the regen plus it's the health gained whenever he does that execute will help a lot too. And already seeing those little pokes going down up top. No auto attacks being traded, well, until now. But I guess the part I forgot about when I was mentioning that earlier is that Pantheon does get to block an auto attack every few auto attacks, I believe it is, or whenever he uses his W.
Yes, every 4 spellcasts or auto attacks.
Okay, or whenever he does W. Yes. Okay, that'll help so early in laning. Although, yeah, they're just both at half health and mana, and both have gone flask. Not surprisingly, because this is just gonna be a kind of a sustained lane anyways. And I thinking about it too, Nunu gets free spells every few auto attacks, so it's just a battle of who can get more free stuff. And it hits his winner's bite, but backs off because Lucian's not around to follow up. Even if they hit 2 first, they're not going to do a whole lot to Morgana and Cog. When Morgana levels, I'll be curious to see if she goes probably for the shield. Instead, Eve has come up top. She's got a nice bit of damage onto... Oh, the misplay! Oh my gosh! Pantheon flashes in, but Nunu is able to kill him with the Ignite plus the turret shots. Really, really bold move by Pantheon. I'm not really sure why he tried to go in and get that just so hard. He did flash Ignite. Nunu just ends up winning out on that. Has that easy 300 gold, and that's unfortunately a wasted gank for blue team.
He did have that health potion burning on him when that was going on, and there's the heal getting Morg out just as well with that flash. The binding falling on Lucian, and there's going to be a little bit of extra damage. I don't think that they're going to actually go in and do anything, but Kog is just getting that poke down onto the Braum.
Yeah, the problem with what Purple did is that the fact that they weren't able to follow up, they weren't able to get the kill on a Morg meant that they walked away. That Purple walked away, Blue walked away and was just fine, and Cog could just hit them the entire way back. And because of that, they're kind of behind in lane right now. They're up in CS by a little bit, but I'd be scared if I was Blue, or sorry, yeah, if I was Purple, because one binding lands, that's probably gonna be a lot of kills. Spell Shield comes through. Nocturne's going in for a gank, but Eve is right behind. Will be able to help with the extra bit of damage. That's Nocturne flashes maybe a bit unnecessarily, but gets away safely. A lot of
Nocturne
focus top.
Yeah, a lot of ganks coming up from both sides, but Nocturne really thought that W jump from Pantheon had a much shorter cooldown than it actually did. A flash from both sides really going to be able to keep both of the top laners up there even farther. And a nice engage coming out onto that Kog'Maw. Will he be dropped? There's the auto attack, and there is the poke from his E, but it's not going to be enough. He's popping some of those potions.
Yeah, Braum still takes the CC, which is important because he took the Dark Binding Snare under turret, and so he ended up taking a lot of damage for that and had to flash away. Otherwise, Purple probably would have come ahead in that fight, but instead they're pretty even on health on both supports and AD carries. Don't know who's gonna try to bully out. It looks like Lucian will go back. He has 1,000 gold, so he could go for probably a Vamp Scepter here. They just want to heal up and be ready to engage again in a little while. He could go Boots too also, I think, but Vamp Scepter, that's not surprising.
You see a little bit of a difference in the build coming out from top lane. Looks like Nunu's going for that cooldown reduction with that Fiendish Codex, and Pantheon's going a little bit more utility, getting a ward down with extra health and mana potions, as well as a flask instead of just health potions. Nunu really doesn't need the mana potions because he's got the flask and the passive to really help him out. He's got a lot more sustain than this Pantheon, and he's already got a level lead, plus 10 CS ahead. Even with this giant wave here, he's not going to be able to make up 10 by just killing those 6 minions.
Well, in addition to the fact that he's already got the first blood as well. And so Phoenix Codex means that there's going to be a lot of these ice balls coming out, which is what I'm guessing he's maxing. Yeah, it is what Nunu's maxing. He's going to get ganked, though, because Eve is right around the back, gets creep-bucked a little bit. I'm surprised that Pantheon dropped his stun a bit too early, it looks like. Nunu can just walk away pretty happily. They don't. Blue doesn't burn very much, though. It's not like they burn a flash or any summoners. But they did chunk down Nunu a bunch, and he's not going to be able to make up that much health. The return gate comes in, means that Eve's going to come in. There's going to be a flash coming out from Nunu. I think Eve's going to be able to get him. Pops the ult. Is not going to do enough, even with the Ignite, to Pantheon. Wasn't able to charge that Absolute Zero quite enough to deal a bunch to Pantheon. He gets away with just a little bit. Works out well for them. Evens up that top lane.
He was hoping to get that snowball out, is what it looked like with that Ignite there, trying to get a little bit more damage off, but it looks like Pantheon was just a little bit too fast for what he expected. A nice engage going out on bot lane. There is the extra stun going down, but the shield's going to actually keep Cog from taking that damage. A nice counter to Braum in the bot lane.
Yeah, she can throw out the shield after she sees who's about to get hit by it. And although it doesn't block the damage that comes out, because when they did pop the concussive blows, which meant that the stun didn't happen, but an extra 100 damage is still a lot, especially early. So it works out, gives them a health lead, and Cog can't lifesteal up. There's no way for him to heal. He has his only pot running right now, and went with Boots too, which is smarter for him because of how his on-hit works. Pantheon's man-dropping from bot lane, though. He's going to try to jump onto somebody. It looks like Braum's going to get jumped on. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away from this. Oh, but Pantheon takes a bunch of damage from that turret. Unfortunately, they didn't chain their stuns very well, because since Morg's stun landed, he could have waited. Pantheon could have waited just a little bit longer and then stunned when it was running out and been able to probably do a lot more damage. Kind of a small blunder, I think, but I think they popped a good bit of summoners. Braum just walked away, actually. Used exhaust, I think. And Lucian popped flash, had his heal ready too in case Braum did drop that low.
It's a little bit interesting looking at this bot lane here because Morg's shield is supposed to stop magic damage, but it doesn't stop magic damage from Braum's passive because it's already applied beforehand, so it's not actually activating, it's just finalizing after a time period.
Is that true? I don't know if that...
Yeah, it is. I just watched the last fight, and her shield's 130. It was still at a good 95 at the end of that team fight.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's a glitch or something, but...
Because the damage shouldn't be applied. I don't know. Interesting. Morg's actually going for 200 Tormented Soil, I guess for faster pushing, but you expect to see her max her Q first for the longer snare duration, because it just lasts forever. Nocturne's in position for either a dragon or a gank, because he does have an ultimate up. But we'll have to see what he tries to go for. He's actually just waiting around the bottom brush. I can't actually see the range of his ultimate, which would be kind of nice on Spectator, but oh well. But after 10 minutes, even gold pretty much.
There's Eve and Nocturne both positioning for a gank down in bot lane. Blue side being a little bit lower than purple side right here. Braum's a big, hefty tank at this point to Morg's 400 health. Excuse me, 300, and there's the engage.
Yeah, the ult comes down from Braum. Nocturne's able to just jump in and immediately blow up Morg because she was so low. Braum's gonna go and probably be able to auto-attack this Cog to death. Oh, but he's staying alive just barely. Not sure how he's staying alive so long. Syndra jumps in, able to finish off that Cog before getting taken down by Cog's passive herself. Teleport's coming down from, looks like Anivia, interestingly, because they just try to take down Braum. Do end up finishing him off. Not going to be anything else from that fight, and it ended up being a, what was that, 3 for, I don't even know for how many, but ends up in favor of blue team. Pantheon's trying to get away now from that Nunu. He doesn't have any mana left, so he can't really do a whole lot unless he gets a passive stack to come up, but not quite. Pantheon walks away, did burn his flash to escape. Nunu still has Ignite. Guess he didn't think he was close enough to win that fight just with Ignite alone.
Definitely not, but we do see Nunu even snowballing just to push this wave. He's actually using it on his siege bending instead of just using his consume because it looked like it wasn't up actually. So we're looking at these gold differences so far. So let's start up in top lane. That's a good 3,000 gold to 2,400, and there's the binding landed on Lucian. He should be safe because he is behind Braum yet again. Even though there is a good 20 farm difference, it's less than 500 gold. Separating both Pantheon and Nunu off in top lane. They both have a kill and no assists. Dragon's still not being touched, I don't believe.
No, well that 500 is equating to about a 20 CS lead.
Exactly. So with no global gold being picked up, it's not that far of a difference.
The big one is Eve versus Nocturne. Eve's picked up 3 kills already, about 1,000 gold lead, and in items she's already completed her Lizard Elder, whereas Nocturne has forgone finishing Wriggles in favor of getting a Ninja Tabby, which, against a fairly auto-attack heavy team, makes a bit of sense. You got Eve, Pantheon, and Cog, who are all going to be throwing out a lot of auto attacks. Eve has gotten behind Braum, and the binding landing on Braum means that that's going to be a very, very dead Braum. Can't really get away. He was caught really, really badly out of position. Don't know if he was trying to ward, maybe trying to ward that Tri-Brush, but Nocturne's now come in, has Cinder behind him in case he wants to follow up afterwards. The binding barely misses. Pantheon's jumping in, though, from mid lane. This is going to turn badly for purple unless they can get away. But they do end up taking down Eve thanks to Ignite. Trying to chase down the solution, but I think he's going to be able to get away. No problem. Still amazing that with 13 kills in the game already, 200 gold lead, and no turrets at all. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Such a close game so far, and there is the dragon actually being picked up by blue side here.
They're going to trade it for top turret. Or at least it looks like it.
Looks like I don't think that Pantheon's going to have any way to get back up there. He does not have his ult, so that's probably going to be top turret taken down.
Yeah, especially with another wave coming up. He can just beat down this turret. It should be no problem. It's not going to kill this wave, but Maybe they'll save it for a bit later. I think they probably want to trade that global gold back, though, and even up the score. They don't know that it's quite that even, but Eve does get back in time, though. Able to stop that push.
So it does come out a little bit in blue team's advantage. There's free dragon for no turret, and ooh, more backing being stopped there.
Yeah, she's not quite able to get away. Uses the black shield to make sure she doesn't get stunned up. But one thing very interesting by coming out of Pantheon, remember how he was playing that teleport Jax last game? He wanted to be a global presence. He's now gone Moby boots, so he can get in ult range much quicker, especially if he's not fighting anyone at that time. So he's trying to be just the same kind of presence as he was last game. And he's only been involved in 2 kills so far, but him just ulting in towards that dragon fight helped out immensely, I think. Even though he was kind of late to the fight, it meant that they could easily pick up a dragon, no problem, and help them out. Puts blue in about 1,000 gold lead. That ult coming out from Braum, as I talk about it not being an engaged tool, is used quite well. Ends up killing that Morgana, and with no black shield left, means that Kog gets stunned pretty hard, but that turret's too scary. They can't quite dive yet since they took so much on that early engage. Morg dies. Ends up getting a kill for Braum, actually. Egg popped by Unleashed Power from Syndra, but Syndra's going to be chased down by this Eve. Eve's probably going to be able to take her down because the stun does not land from Syndra. Eve just being right on top of her means that it's a very, very dead Syndra. Pantheon's coming down to see if he could try to protect this Kog. Kog ends up dying, which means that his passive is going to do a lot of damage, probably kill the Lucian straight up. And not with Eve and Pantheon chasing this Braum, they're going to take him down, no problem. So, like, Blues looks like they should be in a much bigger lead right now, but it just hasn't translated into gold quite yet.
So there is a little bit of a farm lead in almost in every lane but jungle coming out from purple side here, so that's that's there to help them keep up. Braum's gonna be able to use his actual gold collection from Targons to keep his gold up a little bit because it gets him gold and his allies gold. Even though Frostfang does collect gold as well, it's going to get that farm, giving it a little bit more gold than I think it actually gives a little bit more, and there's a nice engage coming up top.
And Nocturne just ults in right on top of Pantheon. He's dying. They're going to cancel that, and Nivi's going to definitely cancel that teleport because she would have died immediately if she'd stuck around. It looks like they trade turrets for pretty much nothing. Eve's running in. She's going to be right on top of that Syndra. Syndra has no escape except for a flash. Doesn't even get a chance to use it. Burns the Ignites, trying to tick down onto Eve, but doesn't look like it's going to be able to kill her. Eve escapes with barely any health. Nice idea from Morg to put the black shield on Eve before she was even in range to be seen. And so by the time Syndra could even see her, it was too late to stun her. Braum is caught in the enemy jungle, though. Eve's going to find her. He might be able to kill this Eve if he's smart about it. I don't think it's going to work, though, because too many shields coming out. Very dead Braum. He's died quite a few times in bad positions, but this Nunu has to flash away to get out of that, too. Get out of all the slows coming down from Anivia. Escapes with his life. I think one problem with the goal differential is that Braum has gotten kills, and Lucian hasn't. And you can see that Kog, because of that, he's only got a little bit of a gold lead, but it meant that he got his Triforce about the same time as Bloodthirster came out. Actually, that seems close. Okay, it's actually not as big a difference as I thought. But if those kills had gone on to Lucian instead or onto a carry, it would be more beneficial. Braum doesn't really need that much gold to be effective.
He does have that Targons that helps him out a little bit, even with a little bit of lacking in gold pickup, but with those kills he should be able to turn it around and become the ultimate tank. He has those Moby boots and he looks like he's already got that Kindle gem. He's built the siege and there's the ult.
That's going to be a Pantheon ult coming right on top of purple team. They don't really get anyone with it. There comes the stun from Lucian finally. The chain stuns come out very, very nicely onto Lucian. He's going to die. Syndra does pop her ult to kill Anivia, so it's 1-for-1 right now, but Morg's in range to hope maybe kill that Syndra. And Pantheon doesn't finish it off because Morg steals the kill, but then Nocturne takes him in return. Eve's shield barely keeping her alive. Where Nocturne chucks it too. This is so many kills coming out all at once. Cog with his long-range Barricade Barrage takes down that Nocturne. If they can land a Binding, it might be a dead Nunu as well. The Binding just came up, does land. It's probably going to be a dead Nunu. Despite Absolute Zero trying to make him back away. That was a delayed ace. Well played by Blue. They're powering through this game right now.
Good job from Blue Team's bot lane. That Kog'Maw really actually stacking up those kills. 5 kills now, 7 assists. Tons of gold with that tons of damage item. Taking down the turrets and pushing as hard as he can. He's got that Sheen proc, so he's going to be able to do a little bit more damage when he's spamming all of those abilities.
Yeah. And it's also just on the next hit whenever he pops his ult, especially is the one that's going to make it pop most often. But also the first one after he uses Biocan Barrage is going to deal a lot of extra damage because it'll essentially double. Not with the magic damage, but at least with the physical damage he'll already have. Dragon is up, so after they've taken that second outer turret, they've got both the bottom and mid ones. They might rush towards this Dragon, but they see that Pantheon's up top. Purple may make a play for it instead. His ult is not up, so if Purple could find a favorable fight here, could help take some of that gold differential down. Instead, they're just going to go straight for Dragon anyways, and gets a nice stun onto Anivia. Means that Nocturne has a signal to go for it instead. The egg is up. Unfortunately, Pantheon has gotten into range to help out now. A full Absolute Zero channels, which does so much damage, takes down Anivia. Morgana's stun lands. Is not able to kill anyone. She's going to die. And Syndra's still alive after taking down Eve. It looks like it's a 4 for 2 right now. And now a 4 for 3. As Pantheon just finishes off Nocturne, no problem. If he can find somebody, he might be able to finish off another kill, but looks like everyone's going to back away after that. 4 for 3 is not quite as good as Blue could have had, but they played it very, very well to win that fight convincingly.
Lucian racking up those assists. Most assists in the game at this point. Not being able
support
to be
Lucian.
Yeah, poor Lucian. Not going to be the one who actually gets any of the actual gold from it. Assist gold very far from real gold. Kind of like that off-brand gold you buy at the supermarket. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that fool's gold.
Yeah, he's down 1,000 gold now to Cog, which is clearly showing his Cog's doing very well in these team fights. And anytime he dies, he takes somebody with him with his passive.
Lots of pink wards around this dragon, so they're going to be able to see that Elise when she comes in. Both
Eve?
And an actual... Oh, yeah. That Eve. There's a pink and a normal ward in that little bush right there in the river, so... Complete vision.
Pantheon flashes in, does get a stun down, but another Nunu Absolute Zero is going to come down. It doesn't do quite as much to Pantheon. I can't tell if he got exhausted, but just a death match going on around this Baron pit. It's going to be a dead Cog in a sec. He's going to be able to run and probably stick around with this Braum, maybe kill him for free. No, goes instead for the Nocturne, who's a higher priority target right now. Lucian's walked in, kills Anivia. Anivia's Morgana's still around, trying to fight somebody off. Even Morgana are the last two alive for Blue Team. But that's another fight won by Purple Team. But it's only by 1 kill again. So they can't do anything with it, not turn it into any global objective. So they're just slowly getting a little bit ahead. Morg's going to fire off a Q just to troll a little bit. Her ult has come down. She's going to die for that. Not sure if that was worth it, but Braum takes another kill from Lucian, unfortunately.
Yeah, no Zhonya's right there to keep that Morg alive. With all these fights being won by Purple Team, do you think that they can actually turn it around? I think it's anyone's game right now.
Very much so. I need to think a little bit more about the early versus mid versus late game kind of comps that are going on. Braum gets really, really strong, as does Nocturne. Now that Nocturne does have Flare with only 2 stacks, so he's barely just gotten it. So that's really, really helpful. He's going to just start doing a lot of damage, especially when you add like a Nunu Blood Boil on top of it. But he's going to get chunked down right now. He's going to take that dragon damage too for 1 or 2 hits. Has to back away, trying to take down that last ward to get all the dragon vision, but it looks like we might have another just death match up top. The stun lands from Syndra. Pantheon's ulting, but he's ulting behind and way too late. He's wasted so much time on damage, but Blue's playing this really, really well. Has 2 kills down already. It looks like Syndra's going to go down as well. ill-fated engage coming out from purple team after the Cinder Stun landed. Nunu Absolute Zero doesn't do a lot. And it looks like because 3 members have gone down for purple as to only Cog for the blue team, they're going to be able to take this dragon. Might be able to kill Nunu as well right afterwards. I feel like they should probably kind of back off. Nunu's just kind of delaying them from taking dragon. But they do end up finally finishing it off. Caught again in just a bad position. He's got no turret to run to. He's so far out of position. I don't know if they're going to actually go for him here. But they have him pincered pretty well. Even more... Oh, it looks like nice jump from Braum. Means he will get away. He had Nunu there to back him up to get a blood boil on him too, so... That ends up being a very good fight for blue. When they were only up for 1,000 gold there, it's turned into 4.5, and purple didn't manage to capitalize on their team fight win. So blue getting 1 turns it into a lot because it was such a big win.
Those Moby Boots really going to be able to help out Braum in these team fights. He's going to be able to position himself where he needs to be, and then use his stand to get in front of his allies when he needs to for those Morg Qs. Gonna be able to really try and do what he's been doing, but he, as you saw at the end of that fight when they were doing dragon, his ult was still up. He used it on the dragon to try and do something with it. 250 magic damage. It's not a small amount of damage, and it's a huge amount of CC. Could have used it earlier in the fight to help his team out, but
he might not have been in a good position for it earlier. That is what I would guess, but I didn't quite see when he did or didn't have a chance, unfortunately. But I had a good point now and I totally lost it. GG, worst caster.
Oh no, it's alright.
So one of the problems with the Braum here is that there's not, like, while there is a Morg binding to take, there's no super crazy projectile you want to be taking out, like a Misfortune ult or an Ezreal ult that changes the tide of an entire fight. Eve just jumps with the slow onto Syndra with her ult. Cog does end up taking the kill, so Syndra's just caught out, dies immediately. Pantheon was jumping in to kind of get position in case they try to run any other direction. Nocturne has to flash over the wall. Is able to get away, just barely, but nothing else picked up. But Syndra being dead is a huge deal. That's a lot of wave clear. But the thing I was saying about Braum, there's nothing to really take. Like, he took the Flash Frost there, but what else did that do? Nothing. There's nothing. No, looking at blue team, what other big skill shot are you going to take out of the equation? And there's nothing really high priority, which is what you need.
Exactly. It's not the best, but it was a tank to block out the Morgana since Thresh wasn't the best.
I don't like the pick. I think that Braum's just overpicked. Somebody said this in chat. I think he just gets overpicked because he's new and everyone thinks he's super strong. And he is strong if you play him for the right reasons. It's just like whenever you buy an item, if you buy it for the right reasons, then good. But if you buy an item just because you said, hey, I need to buy something, not a good idea. Nivea is going to get caught because she's trying to recall. There's not a lot of damage on purple right now from these two members, but they do manage to egg her. The Syndra's going to be able to crush her down. That's an easy kill. And they don't give it to Lucian. Guys, I know you wanted the 777s on Syndra for the roulette numbers, but not roulette. Oh my gosh, brain fart. But Lucian should have had that kill.
Yeah,
Slot machine.
3-4, and yeah, there we go. There's the engage.
Yeah, Pantheon jumps in. Nunu has put down an absolute 0 really, really well. Full channel means that if Morgana does die before her stun can come off, Eve's getting caught too. That's going to probably be 4 dead immediately. 4, almost nothing. Cog does die. Or sorry, Braum does die to Cog. Cog is running in trying to clean up this fight. Might be able to take out. Maybe he'll take out Lucian if he can get one more hit down with his ult. Doesn't get not quite enough range because he's only level 14. If he was 16, he might have been able to finish off that kill. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the flash and the heal being burned from Lucian there.
So that was a really, really good Nunu ult. It was, I think it was might have been a flash Nunu ult. And one of the big things that did in the fight is it separated blue a little bit. And it's exactly what a Zyra ult does too. Zyra ult you could place behind somebody who engages to separate the team and make them discoordinated or uncoordinated. And Nunu being right there behind the turret, not in front of it, meant that blue had to either decide to like go in to, they had to pick their poison. And Morg ended up dying before her second tick of her ult came off because she doesn't have Zhonya's. It meant that they lost a huge CC, which would have hit every single member of purple, I'm pretty sure. So good play from Purple. They won a fight and got a turret at least this time. So they're doing better with their team fight, but they need to do more. They have to convincingly win fights and then turn it into objectives. Dragon's up in a minute. Maybe that'll be their next target.
Best part about that Nunu ult is, unlike a Zyra ult, it takes a lot longer for it to actually go away. So the AD carry was actually split off while they did the fighting on top of the Nunu ult. So it kept the Cog out of the fight for longer than a Zyra or anyone of that type of AoE would have been able to.
And it slows and does a lot more damage than Zyra ult too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, they can cancel it and everything, but Nunu being that far in... Oh, Pantheon's drop's coming up. He's trying to pincer off his Braum and will be able to easily because Eve is right there too. They have really just kind of caught him so many times when he goes to ward or just, I don't know, even just try to rotate. They're burning a lot to take him out though. I don't know if they burned a lot of summoners there too. It looks like it's just the man drop getting taken out. Nothing else to kill Braum, which is good. It's not... I mean, it doesn't completely change the face of Purple's team fight. Like I said, there's nothing for him to really deal with. Oh, Morgana does land the biting despite the flash. That's going to be a dead Syndra. Almost takes Morg with her with the unleashed power, but not quite enough damage. So Blue's going to go straight for Dragon with that, with 2 members of Purple dead.
I'd like to see Blue Team actually go for an actual tower objective instead of just pushing for these dragons constantly. It is getting them ahead in gold, but they haven't been able to do an all-out push. They look like they're just actually trying to wait for late game, which is something that I really wouldn't really recommend doing, even with the Cog and the Anivia. That Pantheon, who is 7 and 5 right now, isn't going to be able to be as effective.
That was so funny. Anivia flash walled, and it didn't really do anything to Nunu because he just said, "All right, cool," and walked away. Yeah, Pantheon's going for... He hasn't really gone for much damage in his build. He's got Randuin's, Banshee's Veil, and a Hexdrinker. Hexdrinker being the only damage item. A little skirmish going on up top. I don't really feel like this is going to... Well, it looks like Eve is doing a lot very, very quickly to that Nocturne. Braum's coming in. Doesn't quite land Winter's Bite, which could have turned that fight around a good bit. But there were too many people from Blue coming up for that to be a good, smart fight from Purple. Junglers both go low, both use their flashes, and just back off.
So here goes Blue Team. They might be grouping up to try and get a Baron, but here is Purple Team right there just saying, no you don't, we're going to stop you at all costs.
Yeah, how bad Braum ult comes down. There, nice tanking coming up from Pantheon. He blocked out the entirety of the Lucian ult. The Morgana ult doesn't do anything again. Oh, that nice Zhonya's from Eve. Actually, I didn't see it. She'd picked up a Zhonya's. And a triple kill finally coming. Oh, quadra kill coming out from Lucian. He's finally picked up those. Might be able to get a penta because there is an Anivia here, but he might die instead. Oh, the egg means they can probably pick it up properly if they want to. Could be a penta kill. They play it smart. There's the penta kill. Lucian's finally caught up in gold now. I think he is actually ahead of gold of the Cog now. Thanks to that. Thanks to just ending a killing spree. Maybe ending 2. No, it just looks like he ends... Whose was that? Ends Cog killing spree for 500 gold and gets a penta. That helps a lot. That's the person they needed on. And they take out 2 turrets, maybe 3. Pantheon coming in may be a bad idea because Pantheon's jumped in. He could die immediately, or he could blow up this Lucian if he plays it right. Instead, has to back off because Lucian just jumps at the right time. Cinder's going to die, but takes Pantheon with her. The Eve ult comes out along with the Randuin, slows down the Lucian, can't really get away from that. She just does a lot of damage with that Malamortis and so much, oh my god, so much damage. Cog takes out Nocturne by himself, but he did get an inhib, which is way more important than that single kill. Eve's trying to stick on top of this, stick on top of the Eve. I think it's just going to be kind of a tickle battle because they're both pretty tanky. And Blue's instead going straight for Baron. And Braum puts down multiple wards to try to take a look at this. Nocturne's not up, so there's no chance of a smite steal. But Nunu does have flash. His consume does 1,000 true damage. Oh, but Morg's taken so low. Nunu ult gets popped, but they does die instead. Too much kite and too much damage there's sustained damage coming out from blue team means he dies. They also take down Braum, but I think Baron's too low to take. Or he's back to full health now. So purple does stop blue from taking Baron, which would have been very, very costly. Losing only 2 people in return for that is fine because they're not. It doesn't look like they'll lose a global objective in return. But now Lucian, look at his items. He's got IE, Bloodthirster, Last Trinity Force. That's just absurd.
There's Lucian really saying, hey, look, I finally got what I've been trying to get all game. Kills. He would start out the game with the most assists of everyone on both teams with the least amount of kills overall. But now he's got his way turned around. 9, 5, and 17. Good job, Lucian. Out-farming the entire game so far.
Oh, but Eve's going to catch him. That ult means that's a very dead Lucian. He might be able to try to take Eve with him, but the move speed... Oh, Eve survives barely. Does get a little bit of health at the end from that probably dangerous game mastery, but that was just so... He calculated that so well, and that's probably going to mean that blue can go for Baron now. Yeah, you see Mandrop coming in. It's a bit more delayed now. Does get stopped by the Cinder Stun. I think purple's going to walk away and try to be able to make a play to contest the Baron, but with Pantheon jumping in and multiple stuns to Braum, he's not. They're just eventually chunking people down. But Pantheon dies instead. Cinder's able to take him down. Anivia does finish off the very low health Nocturne. Cinder's trying to push away Eve. Doesn't want to get him on top of anybody. But Eve just keeps rolling on top of people's faces, dropping those Qs constantly, and with the hate spikes. And Anivia fires out the Frostbite. I think takes down Nunu. Cinder kills Anivia in return. This is turning into so many bloodbaths. Cog could clean up really, really hard, though. That's going to take just a few autos. Maybe 2 autos. Yep. Oh! Uses the Quicksilver Sash to stop the stun. Jacan to get out of the stun, which means that he's able to take down Cinder. If he hadn't had that up, probably would have been a dead Kog'Maw. But the Bastard probably would have got Cinder, too. So they got to defend against minions beating on their Nexus turrets, though. After that inhib had gone down in the previous fight, had to look out for minions, but nothing really lost. Only a little bit of damage that gets regened anyways.
So looking at what Eve has done this match, overwhelmingly I have to vote Eve for the MVP for blue team here. She's gotten ganks off across the entire map, and she's really been able to push herself to the limit, getting herself extremely tanky and doing a huge amount of damage to everyone from the beginning of this game all the way through to now. I think that she's the MVP for blue team.
Well, she's been involved in more kills than purple has. That should tell you a lot.
Huh. 32 kills.
Yep. She's been really, really influential, and that's what Eve should be able to do. She should be able to walk around the map, and because she's against a Flare jungler, she should try to affect the game way more than Nocturne should early. He does have 16 stacks on Flare now, which isn't that many for 36 minutes in, but it's also not terrible either. He's been involved in a lot of kills, but so is everyone this game. There's been 73 kills already, but Nocturne's in the middle of blue team for some reason. Don't really know what happened there, but Eve now flashes on top of Syndra. Very dead Syndra means that this is probably gonna be a fight that's gonna go very, very heavily blue. They take down the Nunu, a triple kill for Kog'Maw already. Looks like Braum and Lucian will probably both get away, but that's easily a Baron, and then they could probably take the turrets that they haven't picked up yet. That's the one.
That siege minion.
The siege minion just follows. That's the one objective that blue hasn't taken, is turrets. If Lucian could maybe do some poke down here, might be able to somehow turn a little bit, but that's an easy Baron if they don't mess it up. Yep. Spites it out. Blue can just go buy. Probably have they all have a lot of gold, so see what they do with it. See what objective they go for next.
They do have a 9k advantage, but they're down 4 turrets. They've got open inhibitors at this point. One more fight means loss for them. But looking over at purple side, they still have their inner turrets.
All 3.
They still have their mid turrets, yeah.
They have everything left. In terms of objectives, Blue's been playing for late game, yeah, like you were saying earlier. And they do have the Cog, who is one of, if not the best. He's definitely a better late game carry than Lucian. But they just have to now use that. If they had even on turrets, they'd have an even bigger gold lead. It'd probably be closer to 13,000, 14,000 gold. But they just need to. If they lose a team fight right now, it's going to be disastrous because that's going to be 2 inhibs easily because they're 2 open ones already. I don't think purple can really outflank them and pull off like a sneaky inhib take because blue would just be able to push it down. I think with that Baron advantage. So we'll see what they try to do. Purple's probably just going to try to wait out this Baron buff. Even though, unfortunately, they don't have any super minions pushing in to help them out there.
But it all depends on how purple team fights this. And there's Nunu getting caught out. Eve putting down that poke.
Man drop's coming in though, getting all the way behind purple team. He's going to drop onto 3 of them. That's going to be a stunned up and very, very dead Lucian immediately. This could be the game really quick. Nocturne is split pushing though, has pulled off a bot turret, forces the teleport from Anivia, which is going to help. Which is going to help the anti-siege, I should say, because blue can't clear nearly as fast without Anivia. That said, Cog is attacking so fast. Oh, that's probably going to be a very, very dead Braum. No, instead the Syndra stun saves him. Stuns up 3 members of blue team. They have to back away, but they're going to take out this turret so quickly, I think. Oh, but the Unleashed Power takes down Cog. That just doesn't respect the damage it deals. Although, Syndra does take a lot from the passive from Kog'Maw as well as the Dark Binding. They don't get anything even with their Baron buff. That actually was a really, really good flank coming out from purple. Forced them to back away because they lost another turret, their 8th of the game. And now Nocturne is caught out. If he could pull some shenanigans, he might be able to ult to that. Oh, he could have tried to ult to that Morgana. I don't know why he didn't. Yeah, he had vision. He had vision on Morgana at Wolves. I don't know why he didn't just ult to her. Probably could have gotten away pretty easily from that, or at least tried to.
So from what Nocturne has done so far, he's used up that teleport from Nivea. Next time he does that, when they try to push with that Baron, or at all, he's going to be able to get in there, grab an inhib, grab a turret, and there's not going to be any teleport to stop him.
The closest thing they'd have to stop that would be the man drop, and it's been used so many times in engages that if Purple plays it right, they could outflank despite being like they just did, despite being down 9,000 gold, or only 8,000 now. But yeah, they could really pull off some shenanigans. Oh my gosh! But looks like blue is again focusing on those objectives. They're waiting for that minute and a half to come for Dragon to come up. I don't know why they're not just trying to get something. I guess they don't have a great engage. They don't have a really, really good engage besides they have to throw out Pantheon ult just to get behind somebody. Because Morgana binding is good, but it's also means Morgana has to be pretty close to pull it off, as well as Anivia stun has to be pretty close for it to work. So I think that's one of the reasons Blue's being kind of cautious here, despite having such a big lead. They just don't have a great first engage. They've been catching people pretty well, with Eve being able to run away, run around, find somebody. Just like Morg might, she does use her Black Shield, but like they've been doing, they've been able to catch people, but they haven't been able to really engage otherwise, like a 5v5.
All purple team has to do is actually use that Nocturne ult to take out a carry. If they can take out the carry, and there it goes, Morg's nice.
She's dead. She's very dead.
Nice Zonia, but that slash almost saving her, but not quite.
Yeah, Nocturne's walked in. He's taking out a lot of damage. Dies without, again, using his ult. Eve's going to get in the middle of the team. Deals a lot of damage onto Syndra, but it looks like Eve's staying alive for quite a while. Anivia takes down Nunu, and Cog is able to finish off Braum. Unfortunately, the Purple's not able to take down Anivia thanks to her egg. Guardian Angel is popped on Lucian. He's going to be very dead in a few seconds. That's 4 for 1. Pantheon is the only one who got low otherwise, and is able to escape. It means that Syndra's left defending by herself.
At this point, with all these fights going on, I really don't think that purple team can win a fight front up like that. They even caught out the Morgana and nothing happened. Morgana was definitely not the best pick for them to fight off because she has that Zonia, she has a way out, and even though they did lose that fight, Anivia's ult, passive is also down right now. So he's not going to be able to survive. Without that Anivia, they might be able to actually turn this around, but it's all time based. They do have that teleport back up now on Anivia, even without the passive.
Yeah, and well, in return, they did pop Lucian's GA, and so you've lost an extra life on carry from each side. But Blue finally gets, kind of serendipitously, gets a turret thanks to minions. They're only their second inner turret. And they take a dragon for free. Baron's up in a minute. I think they're probably going to recall, start to worry about getting vision around that. And then maybe push an objective. Maybe try to win a game. This is like this doesn't feel like a 43-minute game, but at the same time, you keep remembering how many kills have gone down, and it just seems ridiculous that only 5 turrets have happened for the up 13,000 gold team.
Exactly. So one more fight. If purple team can win a fight, they can end the game. If blue team wins a fight, they gotta keep going. They gotta get turrets. They gotta keep on winning fights. It's gonna be a really long game if it has to go that way.
And now blue has triple Zonias coming out too. Even though purple wants to catch somebody and try to blow them up, each of them, 3 of their members, can just survive really, really long thanks to those Zonias, and at least stop whoever they try to engage on. Binding lands, no one's going to follow up on that. But instead, Morgana takes half her health for it. But Eve and Pantheon take down Cinder almost immediately. Still hasn't died yet somehow. Just now goes down. I don't know how she lived that long. But purple's still fairly healthy. Lucian does take down Eve. And Lucian's still pretty strong. Unfortunately, Cog is in the same situation, but gets stunned and has to pop his Quicksilver immediately. I think he's... Oh, Lucian just walks back into the Anivia. Anivia's slow and dies. So that's another 4 for 1. This is what keeps happening. That's good. And the death timers are so high now that Cog and Morgana could easily just push down probably this turret. I think because it might be kind of low. It's at about half health. Yeah, they could probably just take this down, get an inhibitor, walk over to Baron, take it for free. Cog using his abilities to get that extra Sheen proc. I'm just going to walk up and easily grab this inhib.
We have to remember this is a 22-7 Cog. And he's just excessively fed. He's got almost...
They're trying to end it. They're trying to end it here. Pantheon's jumping in. They're trying to just end this quickly. And actually, they should be able to. It looks like Nunu really can't do a lot to stop them. He can slow down some attack speed. Cinder's going to spawn, as well as Nocturne. Nocturne doesn't have his ult. Actually, wow. They managed to take down both Nexus turrets, but are probably going to at least lose 1 or 2 members for it instead. Pantheon does go down. He was already pretty low. Nocturne should be able to kill this Morgana. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill Cog, though. Cog does so much damage. Just wrecks through both Nocturne and almost Braum. If a stun lands, it's a very dead Lucian. No, that's game. That's game right there. They could walk away. If Cog had died there, that would have been pretty funny. But they could just auto-attack this base. If Cog's not smart, he might die to minions. But he finally changes targets. Life steals a little bit back from the minions. He's trying to get a free one last kill. Instead, Braum kills him for it. But that is game. Ending with an 18k gold lead. Finally, blue takes that victory.
Almost 100,000 gold right there. This is a kill game with 96 kills being brought out in this game.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. 96 kills in one game is just... It just ended up having so many skirmishes that were super extended. It ended up being just 4 or 5 kills every couple minutes. And yeah, that's actually it averages out to just over 2 kills a minute. So very ridiculous. GG to blue team. Won both games we got to see for them. And they take home lots of RP. But oh my gosh. This is actually the earliest I've been done with a tournament in forever.
I know, it's not even 1 o'clock yet.
I know, that's amazing. It looks like I might get some sleep tonight for once. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're all the nerd talk in Skype right now. Talking about Bioshock Infinite. But thanks guys for hanging out with us. Looks like we got a good bit of viewership day after Memorial Day, so can't really complain there. And yeah, I'm gonna post it again, but as you guys know, this happens every single day. You can win all these lovely prizes that Nightbot's presenting to you behind doors number 1 through 4, and just come on and play. It's a lot of fun. Even if you lose the first round, it's not like you lost anything. You just lost a game, whatever. and you can maybe make some new friends that are on your same elo, people you want to duo queue with, and just be able to have a nice game with people who are all able to chat with each other and are all trying to win.
Especially if you need a break from solo queue.
Oh yeah,
It feels so nice to go into a team game that actually involves a team.
yeah.
Everyone has a microphone.
What a concept, right?
I know. Unheard of.
Yeah. It's absolutely absurd. So, I think that'll be it for us for the evening. Yes.
Yes, it is. So I'll probably be doing a few more solo queue games after this, guys. If you want to follow me around a little bit after this,
Do you want
I'll
me?
go ahead and...
Do you want me to put your? Are you a mod?
Yeah, I'm a mod.
Okay, yeah, you can put that on. Nice. So, if you guys want to follow up Ain, he's gonna be streaming some games. Cool dude. Fun casting with him. So check him out. If you want to follow me, I don't really stream much, but it's obvious. You can obviously check out my stream because I've typed in chat a bunch. But if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter at the link or at Cyril Baux, but with a Z, just because somebody stole the S and it pisses me off. But otherwise, I will be on tomorrow night for the eighth semis and finals again, and then I will be. Yeah, somebody says stream the Story finals. No, I want to get sleep. Is that actually not even on yet?
Nope.
I want to check. Are you serious? None of the other tournaments are done yet.
Yeah, we got really quick. I think tomorrow I'm casting B.
Okay.
So
So you can catch. Probably Ain will be doing that.
I'm with Kargan tomorrow.
Okay. Also a T-Force podcast member. So, yeah. Also, if you guys like T-Force podcast, holler at us. We love hearing from you guys. I'm on the rundown. I was on the proper last night. I'm not gonna 1v1 you. ZZ. I guess that's double Z. I love you. We're not streaming C finals. I'm sorry.
That's just no.
If you could convince somebody else to in TeamSpeak, you can. Why do you want to 1v1 me? What is why?
So I wonder how big is C right now? How many? Let's check this out. How many people do we have in C?
Oh, quite a bit. There's how many teams is the main thing? 29 teams means there's just shy of 150, so 145 people playing that tournament.
They actually finished before us, I think. No,
Huh?
actually, they're on their finals.
No, they're on every other game. Every other bracket's on the finals. Because I'm special. I would love to another time, but I am tired and would like sleep. So, not tonight. Unfortunately.
I would like sleep too, but I would also like to get platinum sometime soon. So I have to do that.
How close are you?
Well, I have gone from gold 2 to gold 1 to gold 2 to gold 3 to gold 4 to gold 3 to gold 4 to gold 3 to gold 2 to gold 3.
Wow. I realized that in comparison, I have played a total of 59 solo queue games, so I haven't had quite that much discrepancy. I've only had 2 changes in divisions, but yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream in a sec. But yeah, you can catch B and Ain tomorrow at the same-ish time. We'll be posting in the Victorious Gaming Facebook definitely with the B bracket link. The A bracket link I usually post anyways, just so everyone knows it's going up. But it's always on this channel. But it's here at Victorious Gaming Twitch. I will not smack anywhere around because I am not basically God. But you could have seen me playing the other week last Thursday. Playing some Soprats, so play me all the time. What is going on? I don't even know who this is. This must be somebody I know. But all right, that's it for us. I have been Cyril Baux, and joining me,
And I'm Ain.
yeah, good stuff. I will catch most of you hopefully tomorrow night.